differently today. We have Ferrothorn, Nolan, who joined us from last time. My buddy Gael is also here, and we'll have Aruna and James join us in a little bit. They are delayed at work and shopping, so we'll jump them in. Today we'll probably go everything from actual topics and then to playing games. Which check out the thread on Reddit to figure out how you can join us. As for actual Oilers topics, Nolan, do you want to start us off with the Cassian trade?
Oh, yeah, of course, I'd love to. All right, Scrivens for Cassian, 24% salary retained by the Oilers. Each team roughly pays equal salary for their players. Did we win, lose, or tie this trade? Do you not like it because of who Cassian is, or just logistically for the Oilers? And I guess, Adam, you can start us off with that.
Oh, sure. So I guess logistically, it's kind of a no win, no losses kind of trade. Where the Canadians and Sens, or sorry, Canadians Oilers are both paying the same amount for salaries for both players. Cassian might have a little more upside than Scrivens does because he's younger. He's only 24. But at the same time, we're getting a player who hasn't really performed in a couple of years, hasn't played this year at all, and has an addiction problem. You can't really say past tense with addiction technically, but it'll be interesting to see how it works out. I don't particularly like it because I don't like Cassian, but that's personal feelings aside. It's not a bad move. Ferrothorn, you want to take a crack at it?
Since I'm a relatively new Oilers fan, I've not of any previous convictions against Cassian, so I don't mind him as a person because I know he really didn't affect me what he did. And Scrivens wasn't really doing much for us, so it's dead weight gone. And as he said, with his addiction problem, he's been through the program, I think, hasn't
Yep, he went to the substance abuse program for the league. So
he? Yes, and maybe he's past it, maybe he's not, but I, I think it's a decent trade.
yep,
And, well, I mean, obviously my name on Reddit is Professor Scribbles, and I don't like Cassian. I love Ben, so as people, I hate this trade because I love Ben as a person so much, and Cassian, I will never forget what he did to Sam Gagne. But logistically, Scrivens was doing literally nothing for us and was probably inevitably going to be kicked out of the AHL by Lorikainen sooner rather than later, because if we didn't bring him over within the year, he'd probably just decline to come back with the team and whatnot. And Cassian could be, I guess people are concerned about being locker room cancer and his addiction problems and whatnot. But if he's being shown, like, we're a team where you just have to play somewhat competently in order to get on our team, that's all we ask, and being shown you're going to have to work your way up, but you don't have to go far because we're the Oilers and we've always been shit, but we need you. If we can have a power forward like that in our middle six, that would be fantastic. And Cassian knows that this is pretty much his last chance to make it as an NHLer. So I love the trade for the players, but I hate Cassian. That can change.
fair enough. What I've discovered, oddly enough, with this is that since I'm using OBS, it's capturing my mouse. It's capturing what I have it set on, which is our Skype call, but it's also capturing my mouse movement. So every time I move my mouse, it's just moving around on the Skype call when I'm actually not on the actual Skype. It's a little interesting there, but yeah. So we're obviously drinking today, so to avoid going on any further talk for a second, what are you guys drinking?
Right now, vodka and coke. Probably
Mount,
move on to sort of other stuff.
Mount Begbie High Country Kolsch.
Monkey Fist IPA.
What? Okay, I didn't even know you had that. And then I have Sleeman's because my uncle made the mistake the other day of going into a Quebec liquor store and trying to grab Molson Dry, and he made the mistake of not looking at the case and grabbed Molson Dry 10% beer. And I don't know if you ever tried it, but it tastes like ass. Like it's worse than a warm beer. So, might dig into those later. But
Yep.
sorry. Go
Have you
ahead.
ever been offered a beer and then after you've had the beer, you just thought the person who offered you this might have a drinking problem? That's what I thought about you last night, to be perfectly
No,
honest.
thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Anyway,
Speaking of people with problems, Schultz.
I like the transition.
yes, is he on his last leg with the franchise, or can he still salvage it? I guess I'll take this one right now. Um, I haven't watched the last two games, so I'm not really sure how horrendous he's been. But I heard, based on last game, that he was playing worse than ass. He was absolutely god awful. And I mean, how old is Schultz? I need to look this up again. I'm pretty sure he's
24.
about to turn 25 if
25.
he isn't already.
25,
Yeah,
yeah.
Justin Schultz. Yeah, he's 25, and we are continually bringing up younger players that are miles better than him defensively.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just look at his numbers. He's got pretty okay numbers offensively, and the last 4 seasons he's gotten 4 this year, then 31, 33, and 27 in his first year in the NHL, which is pretty good, but he's also been a bit of a power play baby, and I'm pretty sure Clefbaum outshines him in even strength scoring, so if Clefbaum had the role of Schultz and he had another better defensive player next to him on the power play or something like that, Clefbaum would be the one getting 30, close to 40 points per season, but it's being given to Schultz because it's frankly all he's good at. I don't really think he's worth re-signing. I'd be very surprised if any team offers him more than $2 million next year because I don't think we'll keep him. I don't think anyone else sees much value in him. He's kind of like a Brad Hunt worse.
Yeah. So, Gal, for context, Justin Schultz is a player who, to put it lightly, has mired in controversy in the last couple of years. He's regarded as a very soft defenseman, and he's making $3.9 million a year, which kind of transition into my argument. For the money he's getting paid and the way he's playing, I know a lot of people don't like using money to justify how much a player's making because they're not the ones deciding how much they make. But when you're getting paid a certain amount of money, a certain amount of expectation goes with that certain amount of money. If you're making $1 million a year and you score 20 goals, people are gonna be amazed because you're getting paid that much unless it's really a contract. With Schultz, it's the opposite. He's making too much money. He's not doing enough for us, and it has to stop somewhere. And I think at this point, the buck stops this offseason. Because Chia resigned him. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. All right. To not turn into an econ podcast, I'm just gonna say that philosophically, I think that players are underpaid for the money they bring into an organization. Like people going to see his brand name specifically might be worth the money. I don't have the numbers to back that up right now,
Well,
but
no, what it is that it's a salary cap league. So you have a certain amount of money allocated towards your team. So when you only have $73 million available, and 3.9 of it is stepped up on a player who fans don't necessarily even like to watch because he keeps screwing the team, if you could put it that way. Do you think is it worth it, or at that point would you kind of drop him?
not. Since the fans aren't liking him as much, that's That's grounds for renegotiating a lower salary alone. I mean, if people aren't going to be coming in and dropping $100 a pop to see you play, then you are a less attractive player economically. And if he's playing like shit too, then maybe bench him too.
So that's actually another thing that was brought up. Ferrothorn, what do you think about benching Schultz? Is it worth it at this point, or is it just not even worth it?
I don't think it's worth it, to be honest.
On paper, he has really nice numbers.
On paper, you're looking the right. Well, you're not looking at the advanced ones, but do you want to, Kyle? Do you want to pull your mic out a bit from your face?
Yeah, sure thing.
Sorry, you were saying.
No, go ahead.
Ferro, sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, sorry. I think he can improve, but it might be a lost cause. I can't see him staying with us past this season, definitely. But I don't know what to do at the moment with him.
All right, Nolan, what do you do with him?
I'm not really sure if you can afford to bench a guy like that, because if you start benching him and then he plays even worse, I mean, it's hard to imagine Schultz playing worse. But he's either going to have his confidence drop from like abysmal to any level lower than abysmal that I can't even fathom based on how I've heard he's played. Sending him down to the minors is interesting. I don't think he'd go through waivers, but I don't think really his confidence has anywhere to go but up from where he's at. He must be at rock bottom by now because he's been first from when like Nakti brought him in and said Norris Trophy potential, and he's consistently played like shit for the past 4 years and only shown glimmers of being as good as people thought he might turn out to be by this age. I think maybe sending him down might be the only reasonable option, and just bring up a guy like Brett Hunt who has some offensive capability and isn't going to cause massive defensive errors every single game. Other than that, I mean, I guess you just hold on to him until the year's done. You could try to move him at the deadline. I don't know what the hell you'd have to give up just to get rid of him.
Yeah, at this point I think it might be worth it just to hold on to him, even because I mean we have so many injuries that we can't really deal with anything. So
Yeah, that's bad.
you don't. I mean, he's playing too much. He's playing almost 30 minutes a night right now, which is frightening. But at the same time, who else is going to fill that gap? So I think you have to play him for this season, hope it decreases playing time as we start getting players back, and then see what you can get for him at the end of the year, especially if he's performing the way he is. I think a lot of the reaction from last time is still overreacting. Like, if you look, he played bad, but he wasn't a detriment.
The worst D.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't the worst D-man on the ice. That goes to Nick Keaton by far. He wasn't playing good, but I don't think you can justify throwing him down a well when he's had a couple bad games. What's the next topic?
Let me take a quick look. What do you do with the bottom six once McDavid, Yakupov, and Klinkhammer are back, assuming this team can ever be healthy?
Ooh, everyone.
That's a pretty hefty assumption.
Oh god, McDavid, Klinkhammer, and who else was it?
Yakupov.
Yakupov. So we're just gonna forget about Clefbaum then. Okay, in terms of
I mean,
forwards,
that affects our defense, not our forwards.
Bottom
yeah.
six.
Yeah, bottom six. In terms of that, honestly, I'm willing to let some of our more questionable bottom four D taste a little bit of the minors. Perhaps Kyra, perhaps I don't know, maybe Lander, big players like that. And at that point, because we have a plethora of players in those positions, honestly, it'd just be a lot of what do you think will work in this position? Who do you think will be more appropriate here? Do we prioritize actual right-handed forwards for the right wing position? Left-handed forwards? Do we want more centermen in order to win draws? What do we go for? And honestly, in that sense, I would be comfortable with whatever the coach decides, because outside of the insane number of minutes that Justin Schultz has been getting, it's been fairly solid coaching.
Yeah, no, I don't.
It's a cop-out answer, but I think it's the best one.
It's a cop-out answer.
It's a total. You're a cop-out answer.
Cough. Already, you've been in here for 2 minutes. You ruined everything already.
Oh yeah, that's my
Yeah.
special.
Uncle Arun ruins
They
it.
call me
Yep.
Arun the Ruiner. I am the Destroyer.
Yeah, I was gonna say of worlds, but I think you're a little selling yourself a little big there. Do you want to go ahead and log in and look at our stream health?
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'm doing that right now. Don't worry.
Okay. So I don't, for the bottom six, I don't really I kind of. It's tough because we do kind of have to give Kyra time in the AHL. Like he's not even playing right now. Korpikoski's playing over him, but I think you end up trading a couple of them at the deadline. Keep Hendricks. Letestu's played a lot better. Korpikoski's played better, but he's still not played well enough, so I'd get rid of him. And then, because I mean, if you think about it, who do you play with? Who do you guys play with? Yakupov and McDavid.
Maybe I try Purcell.
So who
You want
goes
to
with
break up
Nuge?
that top line?
Yeah, or who goes to the top line? Yeah.
Who goes to the top line? It's streaming. You gotta go. Who goes to the top line? That's my mom. Everybody, say hi to my mom. She says hi back.
Thanks.
Who else? Who else plays left wing? That's a
Julia,
bigger.
Hall.
Because Hall doesn't work on that line. We tried that.
Cairo is playing left for a little bit.
We could try Kyra there.
You could try Everly too.
Yeah. Everly left wing? No.
Maybe get Yakupov to play left and Everly play right.
Yes.
Farrah, what do you think, man?
Yeah.
Looking at the lineup at the moment, we haven't got many left wings who I think could suit top line. Maybe Klinkhammer if he's fit. We tried him on the top line, didn't we?
Top line? I don't remember.
I think he did play a game or two on the top line.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
He was very okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get from Klinkhammer what you'd expect from Klinkhammer.
But what about
You're
Hendo?
not gonna get
Exactly.
anything special.
Hen-
Except,
Hendo did play on the top line for a bit and did fairly well.
yeah, that was during the time where that top line was absolutely dreadful.
That was before Draisaitl.
Yeah, that was before Draisaitl.
So-
That was sort of like nothing is working in terms of offense. We need something to work in terms of offense. Please, please, please.
So maybe you put Purcell back with Yakubov and McDavid and then stick Hendricks on the top line?
No, I put Pouliot with I'll put some good old cognac poo together.
You want to put your poo back in the cognac?
Cognac, yeah. You have your
Alright,
poo
only
without your
one.
cognac? I figured it was pretty standard now to just have it
Yeah.
like that.
Pakarinen could, I guess, slot up on the top line. Says someone who's rough and tumble gate crasher who actually does a decent job at what he's supposed to do for the right wing. He could
Isaac
play. If you wanted to move Purcell somewhere, you could put Pakarinen, Hero the Hero, on the top line. And you've got Eb, Nuge, Pouliot, and then you can put Purcell on the third line with, I don't know, Letestu or Nuge or something.
Yeah, I don't think that's a terrible idea either, actually.
I don't think that's a bad idea. I honestly think out of our bottom six forwards, I think in terms of most highest possible skill, it's Pakarinen that has it.
Are we streaming?
We are streaming, yes. Our stream health is a little bad, but that's
Oh.
not too much of a problem.
Because mine had said it was offline for a second. I got scared.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We live.
Yeah. So, the next one, Gagne. We mentioned Gagne and Rundblad was on waivers, but do you guys want to take a crack at either of them, or?
Let me tell you guys this about Rundblad. We didn't want Rundblad. I'm happy we didn't pick up Rundblad. No one should pick up Rundblad. At this point, he's on what, 5th team now in like 4 seasons.
Something like that.
He's not
That's
sticking with any
incredibly
team.
unfair.
No, the thing is, like, he's made an entire career of starting the team with the NHL, in the NHL, getting sent down to the minors, and then coming up because of injury problems. That's his career. And he was drafted originally as a possible, like, a ceiling of a top 2 defenseman. At this point, he's just thrown the towel and said, this is all that Rundblad is capable for. Even on the Oilers, I don't think we're going to get that top 2 defenseman when he was drafted.
Yeah, he was drafted 17th overall in 2009 by St. Louis, and to their credit, every other defenseman taken in the first round is either a bust or just starting to become a top 6 now.
Mhm.
Really?
Dylan Olsen,
Yeah.
Simone Desprez, that would have been the only good D, but he was 30th. Tim Erickson and John
What
Moore.
about second round that year?
Oh, second round. Well, who do we got? Matt Clark, William Wren. Oh, that's a familiar name. Charles Olivier Roussel, Stefan Elliott. Okay, there we go. Eric
Okay.
Galinash, Dmitry Orlov. Oh, there you go.
Jalinash. Yeah, that guy is turning into a stud defenseman for the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, he's already got 144 games as a...
Oh, and
Second
Hedman was drafted 2nd overall that year. Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a great year for defensemen, but Rundblad was arguably the best choice in the
Yeah.
near future for them, because all the other D ended up not being that good.
2nd overall.
If St.
that
Louis
year.
had been just a little bit worse, they could have grabbed Nick Leddy, who got taken a year ahead of them.
And OEL was drafted 6th overall.
That's
Yeah.
what Isaac just
Thanks,
said.
Isaac. You're the man.
Yeah, it was
But yeah,
it was a pretty
But
good year
outside
for
of top
defensemen.
10, yeah.
But yeah, looking at his stats, Rundblad was drafted by St. Louis and never played for them. He went to Ottawa, played for 24 games, got 4 points, and then got traded to Phoenix, where he played 6 games, got 3 points, got sent down to Portland, or some variation of sending down. 16 points in 30 games. Next year, 39 and 50. In that same year, he played 8 games for Phoenix, like I guess as their 8th guy or first call-up. Next year, he plays 12 games for Phoenix and then goes to the AHL. Then gets traded to the Blackhawks, and then next year he plays 49 games, gets 12 points.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I guess he must have been injured because that's
No,
all he
14
played.
points. You're mixing up the penalty minutes with the points. 14 points.
Sorry, I thought 14
Yeah,
points.
go on.
Still not great, but
Yeah.
okay. And then this year he's played 9 games. Yeah, he's kind of falling off the board.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
as Rumblad's kind of fallen off the board, and as Lowtide likes to say, you got to wait 5 years before you can make an evaluation that's fair for anyone at any given draft year. And Runblad is one of the few that sticks out as having played quite a few games, but looks like he's trending down. Whereas most of the other defensemen that are around the same amount of games as him are just starting to come into their own.
Yeah, he's played 113 games, 25 points, and more penalty minutes to show for it.
I don't know. I mean, what's his salary right now?
Probably dirt.
I don't know. I have to look that up.
Because I mean,
Um,
Gagne is at what 3.9 million, so it's as much as
Gagne was too much, yeah.
Schultz is getting paid, and he.
Oh,
hasn't done anything.
900. 900K.
Oh, so yeah, he's still making like entry level wages.
I mean, with the injuries we've had, depends how long Davidson and Clefbaum are out for. But I mean, Ferentz is on IR long term. Do we really
What a
want
loss.
Nikita and Hunt in the lineup? I mean,
I'm okay with Hunt right now because they're
we haven't
they're
even
really
seen him play yet. Like, I think he might
I
be
saw him play
playing
last
tonight,
night.
but
Didn't he play
But
last
I
night?
mean, can
No.
we extrapolate that he'll play roughly as well as he did last year?
which is absolutely awful.
Yeah, so you know, Ferentz
defensively,
Nikitin level.
He was
Better
useless.
He was decent offensively. He helped the power play.
Okay, a squirrel could help the power play right now. Like, it's just you can't say.
Mom can
you
help
can-
the power play.
We'll stick you on skates, and you'll be stronger on your skates than a Schultz is. Like, that's just a thing.
It's true.
So, do we want to just cut
I
all
will just
video
simply
so
eat
we?
through the entire team by being too short to be hit.
I don't think that's how it works, but okay.
Pharaoh, do you wanna add in anything into our Gagne or take Runblad in the waiver line?
We haven't even discussed Gagne yet.
Uh,
We haven't. No, but you can start Gagne if you want.
Runblad's cleared waivers, hasn't
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
But if
Alright.
should we have maybe
should
taken
we
him
have? Yeah, yeah.
if we
Uh,
are all collectively smarter than Chiarelli, of course.
he?
The brain
I don't
trust
think
of our
so.
Oilers.
I don't think he would be worth
No,
taking, to be honest. No.
I am with you.
I mean, what about did you take a crack at Gagne again? Give him a second chance.
I think with the other guy, I can't remember his name already.
Runblad,
Runblad?
No, I don't know. The
Gagne?
one who signed.
Cassian.
Yeah, I don't
Cassian.
think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Putting him and Gagne on the same team. No.
No.
No, maybe not.
Oh, that's a bad combo, I guess. I don't understand, honestly, like the amount of hate that the Oilers fans express over Cassian. Yes, he has been a douchebag, but that was 2 games in a course of 10, like I don't know, 2 weeks
Arun,
over his entire season.
You don't
year.
understand. He made us lose Gagne for half a season, and now he's made us lose Scribbles forever. I can never forgive him.
All right.
just so you know,
Just make
Zach, if
it
you're
worse.
watching, you're dead forever to Nolan.
Cassian, you're dead forever unless you score like 60 points a season, but you're dead forever.
Watch him put up 50 next year, and we
Yeah.
sign him for
Watch
like
him put up
6
50,
million.
and then
Shut your mouth.
and then he's gonna like show up in like the podcast, start, like hack into it and say "fuck you, Professor Scribbles," and it's good.
Isaac says
Isaac says Cassian just isn't a very good player all around, and
it's true.
yeah, it's true. It's not an incorrect statement. I feel as though Cassian still has a fairly like decent potential in order to round himself out and make him like get to that potential level that he was hyped around, but like the possibility just got a lot worse after his personal issues.
The way I see it is that he's more likely to be a bad player than to have addiction issues again in Edmonton. And that's not saying that he won't have addiction issues, and I really hope he doesn't, but that's just saying how much of an issue he's going to have fitting in to Edmonton. Like, as much as McClellan loves watching and playing his strong guys, Cassian has no real role outside of the fourth line in Edmonton, and he hasn't played in a year and a half. Like, what are you going to do with him?
It's very true.
Yeah, it's just Cassian is possibly, I don't know, it was the best thing that you can make out of that Scribble situation. There's
There's taking draft
potential.
picks over Cassian.
I don't think you're
yeah,
gonna
but
get
I mean,
draft
to be
picks
fair,
over
if
Cassian.
Cassian has literally dirt for value, then what would we have gotten for Scrivens? Like maybe a 7th?
Yeah, 6th maybe.
We're getting a
No,
guy
I
who
don't-
at least
don't see
has
that.
played in the NHL, which you can't say about 90% of 7th rounders.
Except
Yeah.
Davidson, apparently.
That's true.
Davidson-
Isn't Davidson a late 6th?
Oh, was he?
Say
Okay.
like
Yeah.
6th?
Maybe. Functionally the same thing. They're all.
I mean,
dodge
Isaac's our
shots down there.
stat guy, so he'll get us covered on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or well,
Well,
Guile
I'm gonna beat him to
actually.
the punch, so you better watch your mouth.
Oh, it's on. It's a throwdown now.
Guile was pulling up stats for us earlier.
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
160 seconds.
Hey, Gail, how's it
Shut
going?
up, Isaac.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, buddy.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
I didn't know you were there. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, there's this person here.
Joe,
No, it's okay.
Farrell,
I don't
we-
wanna
we-
derail
I think we can just
interesting
cut our
conversation.
video because at this point it might just improve the stream and we don't really have to see
Alright.
this.
I don't
Yeah.
hear the stats.
He's a low variance player. Like,
Yeah.
okay, per year, like the differentials for his scoring is like plus and minus 10, which is very low considering that there's some teams where he doesn't play as many games. So overall, he's like kind of a consistent player, which is, I mean, for a bare minimum, if this is like a bottom barrel pick, isn't very terrible. I don't know about the man as a person, but on paper, again, I'm gonna say that a lot.
Well,
he doesn't seem that terrible.
The issue with him right now is
Plus,
that-
he's on an upswing right now.
well,
Yes, he is.
The,
Well, on a figurative upswing.
the issue right now is that he just finished the drug and rehabilitation program for the NHL. Also, Guile, your mic's rustling again as a warning.
Yeah, it is. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Anyway, so he was on he just finished the drug and rehabilitation program, which, I mean, they're normally fairly effective, but at the same time, there's always that extra element involved, especially if in Edmonton. So, Arun, why do you keep sending Sesame Street gifs?
You better stop shitposting right now,
Sesame
young man.
Street? Sesame Street.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, okay?
Actually,
that-
did you?
That's not Sesame Street.
That's the
Alright.
Muppets.
Yes, I know it's the Muppets.
Let's save
And
the
also you-
shitposting for when we're done actually talking about hockey.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
and
say-
you know the value is close to nothing since people outside the chat won't be able to see your pretty pictures of Muppets.
Yes, they will because I
Exactly.
keep pulling them out.
That's your fault.
Because I'm an idiot
That'll
and I
do it.
think you guys you're actually messaging me something useful.
I can't
But-
even see him. So
I'm gonna end on this though. A successful part of rehabilitation, Adam, you should know this, is having stability and being able to play hockey should help with his rehab endeavors as a person. So for Cassian, playing is good for him individually. So there is room to grow there. And that's where I ended on.
Guile bringing in the psychology info.
Oh shit, dude! On the psychology guy too.
Okay. Oh, by
Well,
the way,
we're both in psych.
I am not
You're
a
a
trained
cunt,
or
you know
licensed
that?
psychologist.
Go fuck yourself, Arun.
APA, please don't sue me. Thank you.
Yeah. That is an
Or YouTube
indication
video.
to anyone.
But anyway-
Take the psychological advice and get sued.
There are
and
two
Steven,
points
actually.
about Zach Cassian that were brought up to me recently, or that I came up with. I'm not telling. One of them is that the Oilers are obviously great at developing young talent. We're known as a place that's really good at getting our prospects going. So Zach Cassian,
Oh, yeah.
a young guy coming to Edmonton, it's just perfect. It fits the narrative very well. The second, more serious point that I didn't come up with is that Zach Cassian and his attitude, assuming it hasn't changed a lot, would break up the country club atmosphere that the Oilers have always had, where everyone's always really polite, and, everyone just gets along really well, and everyone's a gentleman like Eberle or Schultz. They're gentlemen. They never hit anybody. They don't do anything that would piss anyone off.
Yeah.
Cassian and Nurse are two people who fucking infuriate other teams to play against. You saw what he did to us. You see what Nurse does to other teams. We watched him beat the shit out of Calgary's players time and time again. They make other teams mad to have to deal with them, but people can't do anything about it. But they're also not necessarily dirty pests. Cassian's pretty much fits the narrative of a big tough guy who doesn't take your shit, who will stir more up than he gets directed at him.
Yeah.
So
Eberle
Cassian,
and Schultz,
really good
the-
shit stirrer.
the big problem with Eberle's game is that he's not a tough player. He's so finesse, he never checks anybody. Schultz never checks anyone. I mean, if we didn't get new coaching, he may have never checked anyone this entire year. Purcell has kind of the same problem, but he's kind of tuning in now, and we'll get to him later. But
Yeah.
those guys are very gentle players, whereas Cassian and Nurse,
Well,
if Cassian
Purcell's
comes
checks
relevant,
are called penalties, so we'll just leave
that's
it at that.
true.
I thought it was Pouliot.
And
Oh,
we're all
no,
familiar
Purcell
with
took some
Benoit
bad
offensive
penalties
zone
like
penalty
Calgary
Pouliot.
All right. So what's the next topic? Because we spent a bit of time on that one.
I think it is.
I'm gonna get into that one too. Has Talbot
Has
replaced
Talbot-
Andres the Giant? Oh,
Oh.
are we gonna sing it at the same time?
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Oh god.
Has
Has
Talbot
Talbot replaced Andres the Giant as our guy, or do we have a very good 1A, 1B situation?
1B situation. There, got
That,
it. First try.
that was all sorts of awful.
It was, but I'm proud of it.
So
Yeah.
just to reiterate, has Talbot replaced Nielsen?
Yeah, basically.
Farrell Thorne, you've been really quiet. I feel like we're talking over you.
Yeah. I think we're going to have a 1A, 1B situation. I think they're both goaltenders, right? Better than we've had recently, definitely.
So would
But
you? Sorry,
no, carry on.
I was gonna say. So then, in a pinch, do you prefer one or the other, or you could just say that both of them could run in any situation?
I think both could run in any situation. Also depends on the form they've been in. 'Cause I think Nilsson was dropped because he wasn't. Was it because he wasn't doing very well, or did we play back to back and then did they just play Talbot?
His form had started to decline a little bit.
But
Yeah, I think. Well,
oh,
yeah.
no.
No, carry on.
I was just say I think it was he had started to play worse, but it was a back to back where Talbot played his first game.
Yeah,
And he did. He played well in that back to back.
yeah. I think it's going to be one of those where we're going to be choosing between the two who starts.
On paper, it's Talbot.
What?
Yeah, on paper it's Talbot, but at the same time, like Talbot wasn't that great starting off the season. Then we got some consistency from Nielsen.
No. Okay, wait. I'm gonna correct that because that is a misinterpretation that everyone has had.
Statistics.
You're a misinterpretation.
Fuck you. Shut up.
Okay, but before you say that, though, I will say that
Oh,
across his career, it looks like Talbot has just
Talbot.
had less goals scored against him. Like
Yeah.
people he's been a very spoiled person in the instance. But Nielsen, if you go up against him 4 or 5 times, his save percentage drops a lot. So
Wait, what?
Yeah, you're not gonna get 100% consistent, like not season-long consistency from Nielsen, but enough to like be in a 1B position.
Okay. Hold on.
above 2 goals attempts per game average, he goes to below 90 percentile saves.
yeah. At least with Edmonton's defense, when it rains, it pours. So
Yeah. Okay. So Talbot started the season very well. He was 0-3.
Yeah, he only let in like 2 goals short side.
Yeah, okay, but what was his save percentage in games against some of the best teams in the league where we had no defense and injuries? And
Yeah,
we didn't
around
score for how many fucking games, Arun?
900?
How long did it take us to score a goddamn goal?
Are we fighting now?
Yes,
Is this a
we're
fight?
fighting. Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
How long-
everybody in front of our goalie was playing like shit, and we also played probably the hardest starting schedule of any
Yeah,
team. At
Exactly.
least in the
And
West.
Talbot started the season well. Then he fell off a cliff. And now he's picked it up again. But he started the season well, which is why everybody says he started badly. He played the first 3 or 4 games really well and then sucked. That's just a nagging, annoying little thing that I've been dealing with for the last while. I need to
well, we
put that
got
out.
Naggy Nancy over here correcting us.
I
We're
deal
good.
with you all day. How do you think I function?
Ooh.
Oh snap!
Anyway.
Throwing the fire.
Sorry. I think it's 1A, 1B. But right now, for me, Talbot's starting to pull ahead as a starter. It'll also depend on how well he does. Tonight is a big one. And then once we get to a semi-healthy roster again. Because our defense is so bad right now that neither goalie is really going to flourish.
No.
So, Nolan?
Well,
Uh,
I don't know.
Or Arun?
Nope.
Yeah, no.
You say what you want to say, and then I'll get into mine.
No. I'm gonna put myself on mute so I don't take over this cast.
Okay. You were starting to, but I was enjoying the banter. I think very immediately Talbot is the one worth starting over Anders Nielsen, but because of how the two have played for relative stretches, or in Talbot's case, recently and earlier, but not the in-between period, the two of them are kind of going to be just going back and forth as equivalent starters. Whenever one gets cold, put the other in and let him start trying to get something going. Neither of those will work right now because, frankly, our defense is absolutely goddamn awful right now. It was before, but the injuries don't help.
Nope.
At the end of the season, both of their contracts are up, and I don't know what we do with them, especially because it's really hard to gauge where the two of them stand in relation to each other, because we haven't had an ability to have a full defense and have them go one game, one after the other, just to see, like, objectively, or as close as we can get, how good one of them is or who has the edge. Anders is a little bit younger. Talbot has much higher prestige, and there's also the sunk cost fallacy of how much we paid to get Talbot versus paying Liam Coughlin, who most people don't know existed and still don't care about, for a guy who was for a good 20 games unequivocally our starter without a doubt. I don't know what we do at the end of the season. I think Talbot will probably we really can't afford to let either of them walk. We
No.
can't trade either of them when we don't know what their value is, and how much can we afford to pay them for how long, especially with guys like Draisaitl and Nurse and McDavid coming up soon, to be wanting a lot more money. Now, we will have... I'm going to segue this into one of our other posts because I have something to add to it. We're going to be dropping a lot of cash this season and the next one. We're going to be losing Nick Eaton. Ferentz will come off the books soon. Fane will come off the books soon. Hendricks will be probably coming off the books and retiring soon. We'll probably trade somebody at the deadline to a team that needs, a half-decent bottom or mid-six forward.
Griven's contract is also up.
Scriven's contract will be up. We'll still
I
have
think it's
Cassian, but
Scriven's
there's
still.
also going to be Purcell coming off the books.
Schultz might be leaving.
Schultz will probably be gone, but there's one contract that we're not really sure about anymore, and that's Teddy Purcell. And
Yeah.
I'm going to skip the playoff spot discussion and go to Teddy, and then we can come back to it
That's
because
fine.
this just works so well.
Yeah, I guess.
Teddy will... It's hard to really know what to do with his contract either. Like, we have a couple of really questionable contracts coming up for how much do we keep them for, should we trade them beforehand, and I think these will be probably Chiarelli's 3 biggest headaches in the next coming months, because Purcell's played really, really well, specifically with Taylor Hall and Draisaitl. He's kind of got Chris Kunitz syndrome, and I mean, maybe literally anyone else could fill those shoes, but Purcell himself has actually looked really good when he's played with them. Like, he's got confidence back enough to start earning that contract he's got. But I'm sure Purcell also knows, based on how he has played and how he is playing and who he's with, that he isn't worth 4.5 or 4 million again. So we may only shed like $1 million at the most by re-signing Purcell, and God knows for how long, especially with all the other contracts coming up. But I think we are going to be fairly close to the cap after all's said and done, because we don't have a lot coming off the books that we aren't immediately refilling with better players, i.e. Talbot and Nielsen.
I don't. Well, do you sign?
Hello?
Do you sign one and trade one at the deadline
Not
because you have
Mike
Brossoit playing so well?
Hello?
Oh, yeah, that's the part I forgot to mention. What do you do with Brossoit? Because he's... How young is Brossoit? Brossoit is frickin' 22. Talbot's 28, Nielsen is 25. Like, this is absolutely the biggest headache for Chiarelli for goalies. Like, getting rid of Ben helps quite a bit, but you have 3 guys who are all getting relatively close to the same level of play, and you have to get rid of somebody.
I think you turn Brossoit. What you do is you see which goalie is best by, say, mid-March, and you either trade whoever's worse, or whoever, in your opinion, will not be able to consistently play as a starter, and then have Laurent Brossoit play as your backup, or you keep both. See who
Isaac
you
comes
can
at
resign.
us with a wonderful comment, and he says, we should trade Brad Hunt for Anze Kopitar, and I totally agree with you, Isaac. And we should also get Samkos, and we should write a personalized letter to Gary Bettman and say "F you, Cap," and just get all the good players, and call it a day.
Though we have
Okay.
lots of players.
Speaking
Oh, hey,
of
there's
this,
an
let's-
interesting topic
That's why
of
we're in
discussion.
second last place, right?
Yep.
Salary cap.
We're also almost in the playoffs.
All right, speaking as a neutral third party here, who's not Edmonton Oilers dick rider. Can I swear here? No. Okay, good.
You're welcome.
I don't give a fuck. I
You
called him
guys-
a
I'm
cunt
finding
earlier.
where you live right now, but yeah, go ahead, call Stick Riders.
Fight me IRL.
Okay, I'm sorry. It is
No,
my
it's
something
cool.
charm. Do you guys seriously think that you have cup aspirations in the next 3 to 5 years? Because if not, then the decision to get rid of Talbot's a lot easier.
Next, I expect us to be challenging for the playoffs consistently within 3 years.
Within
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah,
In 2 years, then Talbot would be 30.
I think
That's
Al
true.
has a point.
That's
though.
At
roughly
that
around
point, he'll
goalies
turn
are
into
either
Henrik
at their
Lundqvist
peak
and
or
be
getting past it. So
I mean, at that point, he'll turn into Henrik Lundqvist, and his evolution will be complete.
And then we'll have
That's why we're going back up to Lundqvist, right?
yeah, we'll have Brisbois and he'll turn into Talbot.
Yeah.
Okay, I can live with that.
All right, that's all I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, you're welcome.
actually, segue with that. Do you think we have playoff aspirations this year, or not aspirations, but potential?
Gail, did you want to jump in on that?
This year, the
This year,
year
yeah.
where you have a 38% win rate.
absolutely.
Yeah,
The-
of course.
where-
What
You have to
Everyone
consider
crowning
just how
jewels
bad the
period.
Pacific is.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing, guys. Our division is the worst division in hockey right now by a mile. We're
and a half.
2 points. We're 2 points out of the last place in NHL, but I think we're like 4 points out of the playoffs at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, you could win enough games. Like, I'm not going to deny that.
But I honestly, on a note, like, I think Calgary is playing way too well right now for us to be able to compete for that playoff position.
Well, what about the fourth place division? Where
Because we're en route to a possible 8th home win. They've won their 12th straight home game.
Yeah,
But they've also only won 5 away.
Well, we've only won what, like 6 away,
7.
5.
7 away. 5,
5?
32,
I'm looking at it's 5.
11-12.
Are we? How many points do we have away though?
We've won 5 and we've had 2 overtime losses away.
All right, so
Oh,
we have
thanks.
7 points. No, math is hard. 12 points away
Yeah.
from Rexall, but the thing about the Pacific this year is you only have to beat you have to be the fourth team, so we have to beat 2 teams.
We will have to be the 3rd team because the Central is so strong that they will get
Yeah.
both wildcard
Right, the
spots.
wild
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
So
We have less points than the last place Central team.
God damn it.
I mean, to be fair, how many teams don't we have less points than? There are 2.
The,
Fine.
Anaheim
the
and
lead.
Columbus.
Was it Anaheim and Columbus?
Yeah.
The Leafs are
Tied with
beating
the
us right now.
Leafs.
Oh god.
We're on the same points as the
With
Leafs.
3 games in hand over us, we are tied.
Oh god.
Actually, hold on. The only team that wouldn't have the potential to be ahead of us after the same amount of games we have is Columbus because they have 1 more and 4 less points.
I don't understand. Like it's such a weird feeling that we're not far to the playoffs, but at the same time we're almost dead last. Like this could be a year where we're in playoff contention until mid-March and still end up with a really high draft pick. Like
For alcoholic Oilers fans, it's the best of both worlds.
it really,
Yes, it's the best.
realistically, it is. We're watching hockey
Yeah.
that's meaningful for the first time in a long time, and we're still going to get a good draft pick out of it.
And we still have a reason to drink.
I mean,
Exactly.
I thought. Speaking of which, I'm actually gonna grab another beer.
Yeah.
So
I should grab a Mike's Hard. I'll be back.
what-
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave
Mike's
Pharaoh.
hard,
Mike's
classic.
what?
Hey man, I go with what's available here. All right.
Okay.
You live in
Yeah.
Alberta. Everything's available.
Yeah, your mom's available. Fuck you.
You? Fuck.
Hey,
she
don't say
available?
that about Adam's mom. She's a lovely woman.
She's a
Is she
lovely
available
woman.
in Alberta?
Sorry, Adam. She's a lovely woman.
I'm going to strangle you in May. Just so you know,
Yeah, Adam is coming to Edmonton that time.
in May
so-
I am. Yeah, my cousin's getting married. I'm going to strangle Arun.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll go
perfect.
for.
And then we can all go drink
During the
at
wedding.
we can all go watch the Western Conference Final with the Oilers and Flames.
There you go. Because that'll be affordable, totally.
Can that happen? I don't think that can happen. Can
Well,
it?
I mean, we could go to an actual game, or we could just like go to the pint and get smashed.
Either one. I'm okay with either.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
You mean
Um,
drink responsibly? Wink.
Oh yes, drink responsibly, boys and girls.
Yes,
And by
drink responsibly.
Hey,
Finish
hey,
your beer.
We're not
And by drink,
advertised.
I mean do.
We're not sponsored by beer company. We don't have to say drink responsibly. We could just say drink.
But I've got to say, man, this Alley Cat Full Moon is fantastic.
Is it?
No, I'm kidding. I'm not even.
Available for this low price.
Okay, so Pharaoh, did you want to jump in and say any comments about our playoff aspirations for this season? Like, do you think the Oilers could make the playoffs this season?
I think we
Like,
could make the
realistic.
playoffs. Realistically, I think we could if we somehow won more games than the other teams. Obviously,
Don Cherry over here.
I don't think we'll get there. Not this season.
Now, why do you
Maybe-
say that?
Partly because of the injuries we've had at the moment. They're massive. A lot of them. and it's going to be difficult, I think, for us to do like challenge and keep up with the other teams with the injuries we've got at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. I mean, we are leading the league. We're leading the league. We're the second or leading lead in man games lost.
Second.
To I think,
First place doesn't actually have like impactful players. It's all like nobody players.
yeah, well, that's the thing. I think like once adjusted to production or per player or something, we're way up there. Like,
yeah, we're
not even close.
easily first. Yeah.
So, mind you, with that
You
said,
think? Okay, I'm gonna add a topic then into this because injuries have been a huge problem this season. Do you feel as though in the next 5 years this will become a recurring theme for the Oilers?
I mean, it's been a recurring theme for the last 4 or 5 years.
Mhm.
We've always had issues with injuries, with Taylor Hall going down especially most often.
And Hall has yet to be injured this season, has he not?
Well, knock on wood, but yeah, he's one of the few. But that said, Nugent Hopkins had major shoulder surgery a couple times. Yakupov broke his ankle cracked his ankle in first year, one of the two, in his rookie season, and then was injured again this year with his high ankle sprain that was 2 to 4 weeks, and now been 5 weeks. Clefbaum has been injured for the first time, I think. That was his first one. Davidson has been injured for their first time, I think. So
I mean, this season actually, if you think about it, outside of Eberle, it's mostly been players that have never really been injured before
and that's
that have been injured.
So I would say no, based on who's been injured and the nature of the injuries. Mm-hmm. Fucking Yakupov got taken out by a linesman. Like how often does that happen?
And he's still out.
David Clefbaum got his finger cracked by a skate that flew up and clipped his finger. Davidson took a cheap shot in the ribs.
Yeah, that should have been a penalty. Should have been at least maybe a fine. Nothing happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
We used up all of our hockey luck last year getting McDavid.
Oh, exactly. And then McDavid's injuries, obviously, that he lost an edge and got slammed by 2 Flyers on the boards,
which I think had a slight bit of maliciousness to it.
I don't think,
even if people say,
I don't think it was intentional. I think it was
Flyers and Eastern Conference fans have said that the guy who did it is arguably the worst defenseman in the entire league, and also a dipshit. So
he probably was trying to get an edge because he was already
he was cheating a little, but he didn't think of the consequences of his actions.
I don't think
he's like Dustin Brown, except a bad player and stupid.
Yeah,
and he wasn't using his knees this time.
When you watch him, he doesn't grab McDavid.
Rest in peace, Thomas Hurdle.
His career ended with that knee.
It almost
He's still irrelevant.
It almost actually did though.
He's still irrelevant.
Yeah, Tomas Hurdle actually hasn't been as good since he got that injury.
Podcast drinking time. Every time we insult the player, take a drink. Oh, rip livers. Hold on, let me get a drink. I'll be back.
I need to get another beer.
I've got a bottle of vodka, so.
I'm pretty sure I'm all out of whiskey, so I'm just gonna have to chug a lot of beer.
Are you gonna make it through tonight if we're insulting players all night?
Probably not, no.
At least you'll die happy, right?
Yeah.
All right. What was the next? Do we want to talk about the World Juniors? I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, what? Okay. You know how the Reddit threads, the percentages are sometimes kind of weird.
Yeah.
We're currently at least like it's jumping between 4 and 6 right now. It says 5 votes, 5 points for 5 votes, 99%. That's not how math works.
Very controversial podcast, clearly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna go to beer, but what do you guys think of the World Juniors so far?
Yes.
I haven't been watching them.
Oh.
They're not. I can't watch them easily over here.
Yeah, no, I would expect that. Mind you, there's been a lot of streams for TSN. That said, there also been at 1 p.m., which is, I guess it's 6 o'clock in England, but
yeah.
Anyway,
I will try to monologue until everyone gets back.
Well, I was gonna say actually, Pharaoh, have you taken a look at the rosters at all?
No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, go ahead and monologue for a minute. I think Arun's back in a minute. I'll only be 30 seconds here.
All right.
Well, actually, do you want to actually talk about the groups or just skip the World Juniors?
Yeah, we can talk about the groups.
Sure, let's talk about the groups.
All right, okay, so Group A is Canada, Slovakia, Finland, United States, and Germany. Germany and the U.S. are pretty good teams. Man.
Germany.
Germany's actually pretty awful. In hockey.
Germany is wonderful.
Germany isn't in this.
Forts beer.
I was gonna say I don't think. Are you looking at
It's
right here, pal?
Denmark, Switzerland, Sweden, Canada, the U.S.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, I'll be back.
Oh my bad, I'm looking at the IFF World Juniors. My mistake.
Actually, I'm gonna go get a drink. I don't
enough.
trust myself with
Right.
the vodka.
So let's come up with a song then while everyone is gone for their respective drinks.
We were about to talk about the groups, and we were going to make Adam miss out on the best discussion we'll have all podcasts. So Switzerland's having a god-awful tournament. There's no reason they should be doing worse than Denmark. It's just that simple. They shouldn't be doing this horribly.
Oh, that's so good.
13 goals against. They have one less goal against than Belarus, and Belarus
They almost
is,
won today's game. So hey.
Yeah, like this is Denmark's group to lose, and Switzerland has somehow done worse than them. Like the worst team in Belarus is Slovakia, and even Slovakia is like hockey.
Who did Denmark
mad.
beat?
Who did Denmark beat? You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Switzerland, but I'm not
Lots of
sure because I
scores.
haven't been paying
I got you.
attention.
I got you. As they say in the hood, I got you, fam.
That is what they say.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
2-1 Denmark over Sweden on the 27th.
Wow.
And it wasn't a goalie like outperforming either. It was 22 saves to 20 saves. Holy cow! I just saw the Belarus Slovakia game. Oh yeah, never mind. I thought it said like 8 saves to 24 saves. I'm like, what? But no, it was this goalie substitution. Yeah. So the games remaining then, I guess, if we were talking about our group, is there's Denmark, Sweden, Switzerland, USA, USA, Denmark, and Sweden versus Canada.
Yeah. Where are you seeing the brackets that say that Denmark beats Sweden?
I'm just looking at TSN. I just looked at scores. And
Oh,
went back
okay, yeah.
Denmark beat Sweden?
Yeah, Denmark beat Sweden.
No.
2-1. 2-1, yeah.
How the
And we beat that team 6-1, and we barely beat Switzerland today.
How the fuck? Seriously, where are you looking to see that?
Scores.
It says to me that Sweden hasn't lost yet.
Switzerland!
You
God!
fucking
There we go.
idiot.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say
that's
Sweden
fire.
beat Switzerland 8-3, and you're telling me they've lost to Denmark?
Oh.
Is there a bridge close to your house? Cause
Oh man, if you live in Pittsburgh, there's one everywhere. City
And
of fucking
you
bridges,
primarily
I
see
swear to God.
Kessel like standing by it every now and then.
Speaking of which, Nolan, we have to take advantage of your poll now and get Gene Principe on the podcast.
Oh, yes.
yes, of course.
How do you know Gene Principe? You need to tell us.
I talked to, like, me and all the other people on the 6-3 Ched trip. Were introduced by Stafford to Chiarelli, and Chiarelli talked to us for a little while, and then after that, there was, like, a short break, and then Gene came up and talked to us for another half hour. And then after that point, people started, heading off to games or whatever. But later,
Yeah.
Gene Principe came walking back, and I like toasted him and said, "Come up here and join us for a drink or whatever." And he asked me if I was 21 in the United States, and I winked and said, "Of course I am." So yeah, we shot the shit for a little bit, just him and I and my dad, and it was a good time. Gene Principe is a great guy, whether you like his puns or not.
Oh, I
And
like
also, if you want to have one of your own jokes actually end up on an Oilers broadcast, if you send him stuff on Twitter, he does use it for his own material.
All right. I'll have to do
Yeah,
that.
it's stealing for fun.
Well, we'll have to tweet him some of the names of the podcast. Hallmark of success.
If no one steals a joke, if no one hears a joke, was it really stolen?
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Wait,
technically-
is that an insult on our podcast?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I take that personally.
You take everything personally.
I take your mom personally too, but you don't see me complaining. I'll take a sip for that. That was really bad, so I'll take another sip for
I was
that.
gonna say.
Wait a minute, the drinking game is every time we insult a player.
Player,
So
yeah.
are you,
Insulting my
who's the
own-
player
You call my
here
mom's
that
a
you're
player?
insulting? Is
Drink
Adam a
again.
player or is Adam's mom a player?
No, I'm the player, and I'm insulting myself.
You know, my parents watch these occasionally, right?
Hi, Adam's mom. You're a wonderful person. I'm mostly using this as an opportunity to make fun of Adam.
You use every
She buys
opportunity
that.
though.
But anyway, tomorrow's games, which I will actually be able to see because I don't leave for D&D until 5. Nice. Denmark, Sweden. That would be probably the most interesting game to watch out of any of these because it's the only real, I guess, quote-unquote, rivalry. Belarus and Czechoslovakia, or not Czechoslovakia, Christ, just the Czech Republic. Slovakia plays Finland. That should be an interesting game to watch. Probably the closest one out of any of them. And then Switzerland versus USA should be a stomp.
Will Belarus win their first game?
What?
Will Belarus win their first game?
No, they won't.
Oh yeah, Belarus winning their first game.
Who are they playing against? Finland?
Not Czech Republic.
Oh, yeah.
Czech
No, the Czechs have a good team this year. They're screwed.
The Czechs,
They lost 6-0 to Finland. They lost 4-2 to Slovakia, which is pretty good by their standards, I think, because their professional league is an absolute joke, and they lost 4-1 to Russia.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's going to be between them and Switzerland, I guess, for the relegation out of the World Juniors or whatever. Or is that how it works? Do they play each other, or are they automatically relegated and the 2 teams from the B tier come up?
I think it's the bottom 2 teams in the tournament play like a playoff series.
A relegation playoff, yeah.
Oh, relegation players. Yeah, they made that new. That was like last year,
Last
years?
year.
It was
Yeah,
Because
And
Germany
then-
lost 2.
And then whoever gets booted out has to play the winner of that tournament for the slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now is there? I think. Do we want to talk about one more topic before we jump into maybe some favorites or something?
Sure.
Mm.
Or if there's any other just general commentary we have about the Oilers.
Or I mean, we can talk about anything too. We don't have to even talk about.
Oh yeah, we can talk while we're playing games too, shit. But I
Oh,
mean, like,
yeah, you should broadcast your
specifically
stream,
that things that are more formally about the Oilers.
Worst player on the Oilers right now. That's not injured.
Who?
Taylor Hall, obviously.
Oh,
traded,
you
he's fucking
God.
lost.
Worst player on the Oilers. That's actually a good question.
It's actually really easy.
Justin
If
Schultz
you
is
go
trying
to
really hard to beat that player.
reddit.com/r/Edmonton Oilers and you like Control F Justin Schultz, you will immediately find your
Now,
answer.
recent history, I might actually agree with that. He's been probably the worst in recent history. He's not
In
the worst
recent-
on the team though.
No, he is not the worst. on
Worst on the team, probably Korpikoski so far.
it. Really?
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, he was outside
He
of
has
that.
been good at literally just one thing, going fast, and he's not even being that fast.
No,
Didn't he get a hat trick?
like I said, I was gonna say outside of the one game where he scored a hat trick and like the recent play where he's decided he doesn't suck anymore, he's been pretty shit.
Yeah, he was bad to start the season, but he's hardly the worst player. I mean,
yeah.
that's something you reserve for someone like Nick Keaton or Ferret.
Actually, yeah, no, I forgot Nick Keaton was on the team, so technically Nick Keaton's the worst
But
player.
how much has Nikitin played relative to Schultz?
It doesn't matter how much he's played
We're
because
looking
every
at
time he
the first
plays,
player.
it's just awful.
Yeah.
Nice, thanks for the backup.
So we
Lack
insulted
of playing
2
time.
players in that. Actually, 3 players in that, so 3 drinks, gentlemen.
I'm already halfway through my second beer. I went drinking last night.
That's a really good beer.
Yeah, I'm actually not. I'm gonna have a Summersby after this, but
This monkey fist is bananas.
how long did it take you to come up with that one?
I just looked at my can right now, actually.
I immediately facepalmed after that. 'Cause
Anyway,
it's-
we can do all this while we're playing games. Last question, specifically already written down about the podcast. Does the potential that many NHLers use performance-enhancing drugs bother you? There's no proof, but lots of rumors. Even if there is no evidence, would testing for drugs more often be a good idea for the NHL?
Yes.
Just everything.
That pretty much encompasses everything. It's more along the lines of fans are not, because it's something that they acknowledge it's a problem, but it's sort of like it's not in our minds right now. We're not thinking about it. We're thinking about like, oh, we're in a playoff position. We're within this potential. We're within this. It's not a priority for the fans. And on top of that, like because it's just rumors, it's more along the lines of like we're wondering like what does this have to really do with us?
So this is PEDs we're talking about though, not like recreational drugs.
No.
Yeah.
Like HGH stuff.
Yeah. Gal, what do you think about cheating in sports and PEDs?
Okay, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here. Personally,
Okay.
yeah, so I was gonna
Devil's
start-
avocado.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So you know what happened at the Tour
It's
de
like a
France?
spicy avocado.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, and with Lance Armstrong, didn't they have to
Yeah.
go what, like 100 people before they found someone who wasn't using some kind of performance enhancement drug to give the award to?
Yep.
Yeah, but or is it more that cycling is just that, or is it?
Well,
Yeah.
once you get to the epitome of a sport, right? There's there's like a very finite room for improvement, and you can't regulate what people do in their off hours. As much as we'd like to be able to screen for everything, that debacle has taught us that we can't look for everything. There's stuff that's going to go away, and there's stuff that we're not going to find until years later, after the player has already stopped playing, after they've made their money, and they have shaped hockey history. So I'm in favor of, I say we regulate it better instead of just outright banning it, because something we ban, we have no control over, whereas something we regulate, we can at least, put it within reasonable or safe bounds.
Okay.
So is
So
that?
I'm gonna take this a
But
little
this is-
philosophical right now.
What's up?
Just bear with me here, because I actually had a course that I took, a philosophy course, where we did talk about this. We talked about it into the sense of like human genetic modification and why basically whenever we hear about like so and so sports hero, they won the gold medal, but oh no, they were doping the whole time, and you're like, oh, that's the worst person ever, and there's like a whole bunch of bad media. Like it was sort of, we were spending time as a class trying to dissect why we thought of it that way.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting article that's put out. I'll put up the link for that when I find it. But it's more talking about genetic enhancements, but it does talk about the fact of givenness and the fact of like you're supposed to succeed with what you're given and the natural talents that you have. And whenever like people take opportunities in order to go beyond what they have in terms of natural talents in a sports and like personal endeavor, people view all that badly. Like you took a shortcut, that kind of idea. If you get my breakdown.
This is always something of a short-sighted argument, because just taking a horse HGH doesn't make you stronger. You still
No.
have to exercise. You still have to go through the
Yeah.
processes and
Sure.
mechanisms by which you gain strength. Yeah, the end goal is you're going to gain at a faster rate. That's true. But
What
it's
about
not
the
like
long-term effects then of the drugs on the player?
that's why I advocate for regulation instead of just outright banning.
Yeah.
Make
Okay,
it safe for
now
them
I
to do
understand
unhealthy.
No, but in that sense, though, isn't it entirely up to the players about what they're going to put in their bodies? In the same way that if
That's
you
totally
play in the
totally
NFL, you're acknowledging the fact you're going to get concussions. If you're playing in the NHL, you're going to acknowledge the fact that you might deteriorate your body at a faster rate if you're playing with hard impacts.
Professional sports is a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah.
You're essentially gambling that you'll make a crap ton of money in a very short amount of time and then be basically useless. I mean, how many former NFL players go off to be fat and unable to,
Or
run after
broke.
being a professional athlete for a
Yeah.
decade?
Yeah.
But then in that sense,
Well-
do you regulate certain drugs like with HGH? HGH is mostly used as a recovery tool.
I feel as though this is turning into a psychology class right now.
It's actually it's kind of
It is a very good discussion, yes.
it's kind of interesting. I do like it. Pharaoh, what do you think, man? Maybe because you're in England, so you might have different perspectives. I don't know if the media would see it differently or not, but
I mean, like, giving yourself an unfair advantage over other players is wrong, obviously.
Pardon me?
Well-
Repeat that?
You can't stop them doing it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So if you just tell them that it's wrong, maybe they'll stop, but probably won't actually do anything. So you have to make sure that they know if they're caught doing it, there will be severe repercussions. I mean, it's probably already banned because is it illegal or not?
Is it? Yeah. It's technically not allowed. It's just not tested for.
what HGH?
HGH, right?
I thought you know what? Can somebody look that up?
HGH legality, I gotcha.
Yeah. So because
In hockey, in NHL.
because they actually have more. They have more.
Definitely in IHF, but I don't know about NHL.
I thought they might do blood testing every year, at some point for every player in the NHL, but I can't remember.
They began
Actually, one of the
testing for it
complaints-
last year, allegedly.
Yeah. One of the complaints about the NHL was that they just don't test for any drugs.
Well, because I know if you think of they started doing cocaine this year, but if you think about it, it's like if you think about some of the major injuries, like for example, Steven Stamkos is breaking his leg over a post last year.
Yeah, he came
Or
back
2 years ago.
in HGH level of time.
Like he barely missed the Olympics by like 2 weeks. He went from a shattered tibia. Was it tibia and fibula, or just the tibia?
Tibia.
So
I'm pretty sure.
He broke his tibia. He missed like a month and a half. Like that doesn't happen.
Mm.
That's not normal. Even like McDavid is healing at a really frighteningly fast pace.
Yeah.
Well, McDavid is also younger, much
Yeah.
younger.
That's
than,
that's the other side of this though, is that we have to consider that these guys are also the more you exercise, the better your
the fatter
body.
you be.
Well, your body tends to recover better from injuries if you're more active. So these guys are super athletes. They've been training for years. They're in mint condition. That's a weird way to put it, but they're in perfect physical condition. So maybe they are going to heal faster. Like, you know, when we're throwing down these accusations where like he's healing too fast, like, well, maybe he's a naturally fast healer, and him being a top level athlete helps that.
Very true. The expected recovery times that we get for how long people should be injured for is often for a regular average human being who's either lives a very sedentary life or only semi-active, whereas these guys are exercising for 3 to 4 hours a day.
And they have professional chefs and personal trainers and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm going to play not even the devil's advocate. I'm going to play the conspiracy theorist. The Canadian drug industry and Canadian social circles make it very easy for Canadians to get into drugs, which is why we need to ban it outright so that the good boys from Finland and Russia and Sweden who only do alcohol and crocodile can come over and teach us the light of not being drug addicts.
Jesus Christ.
It's perfect.
Okay, first and foremost, it's also very easy to get drugs in these places.
I thought you didn't even go for like cocaine. You went for crocodile. Like you're just like the most arbitrarily non.
It's not arbitrary. It's a very Russian drug.
Hey,
It's
have
Russian.
you ever been to Siberia? I mean, I haven't either, so I don't speak from experience, but there's
Isn't-
nothing to do except
isn't
talk
crocodile-
about drugs.
Isn't crocodile the thing that makes your skin actually look like a
Yeah,
crocodile?
it's poor man's
Crawling.
heroin.
Yeah.
So Konopka actually got a 20-game suspension for failing a performance-enhancing drug test, where he was
Not
caught with
doing enough performance-enhancing drugs.
no, for doing it. It's
Yeah,
bulk,
I know.
Bulk normally associated with steroids and human growth hormone. I have to look at the article before I can feel talk about it. But yeah, someone has been suspended before.
I wonder if they do testing in the same way the NFL does, where it's like you're performing abnormally well. Let's just test you 3 or 4 times. Like Matt Hasselbeck has been tested 3 times this year because he's like a 44-year-old quarterback playing NFL.
Yeah.
Which I mean is like they've tested him 3 different times and he's not even playing. Like he's playing well, but he's not playing.
Is that
well.
Is that okay then for testing to be like targeted like that? Because that's not random. That's like arbitrary. That's not
it is
arbitrary.
absolutely no, but it's by NFL standards. There's the NFL is kind of like a dictatorship where they do whatever the hell they want and then claim it's legal. Where because they've tested him, it's like, oh no, it's random testing. He just happens to have been chosen 3 random times. It's like, okay, well, it's the same. This is the same league that fines people for celebrating, fines Brandon Marshall for wearing the wrong color cleats to support charity, and then fines him again for
And
selling those
suspends the
cleats
player
for-
6 games and like does a whole bunch of other shit because he deflated the ball.
yeah, and then repeal it because you have no actual proof. I don't.
Mhm.
The NFL has its issues.
And on the flip side of the coin, the CFL has kind of the reverse problem in some ways, where like half of the players are like consistently smoking marijuana, but the drug thing does, like the drug testing doesn't do anything about it, or they just don't test their players. But our GM spoke out against like how GMs and other like managers kind of cheat, and how there's not really fixing, but a lot of backroom deals, and there's a lot of shady business, and he got fined for defamation
Saying
of
that,
the
yeah.
league for speaking the truth.
I had
Yeah.
not heard that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Wait, hold
heard
on. Wait,
that,
whoa,
yeah.
whoa, 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 hold on.
Whoa.
Did he
whoa.
have any actual factual proof of the statements? Any records to prove his story?
Oh shit.
He had none at all, but as one of the
Then
9
that's
managers of
defamation.
the league,
That's
it is
that's
it is
by
literally
definition
defamation.
Okay.
But-
that's-
It is defamation, yes.
I'm not arguing that it isn't something that he should get fined for, but I'm just saying I found it comical that he spoke out and was like, yeah, that's generally how things work, and gets fined for it. I
Generally,
also really like that we had that we lost our guy who was still under contract for dirt, but then after the fact they realized, oh, it's not fair for teams to get other people's things for free, and then we try and get an assistant coach from another team who wants to leave, and he's like, nope, you're not allowed to do this anymore, we're blocking it.
I was gonna. Why did they like? It's such a
Edmonton
s-
consistently gets fucked with stupid rule changes like this.
it's just such a weird rule to like you can't change management unless the CFL approves it. It's such an arbitrary change.
Guys, I hate to be a bother, but can we move away from the CFL and towards the NHL?
Sure.
I asked-
But yeah, CFL, the only drug problem is that either all of them do marijuana or not all of them are doing marijuana. That's
So-
the only real
I mean, it's a party either way.
So then,
Yeah.
what about if you bring up the marijuana argument, and you have Ontario or Canada might be legalizing it as a whole, and you have states like Colorado and New York that have already legalized it. Do you have to allow those players in those states to smoke it because it's within their rights now as a citizen, or do you ban?
Yeah, because you allow alcohol and tobacco.
But
Actually, yeah. How
Yeah.
would that work? I mean, obviously they probably wouldn't be able to do it once they go to like teams in the United States and whatnot. But
Yes.
that is a good point.
I think right now they have a ban on it in teams. Like I think that you can be suspended within teams, but I don't know if it's against league policy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Anyway, do you guys want to jump into a game of fibbage?
Sure.
No,
You have to broadcast your screen, by the way, Adam.
Yeah.
For the rest of us.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start up the game, send you guys the code, and once we're all in, then we'll start because everybody's on about a 5-second delay, and if somebody joins from the actual viewing thing, they won't be able to play very well. So if
Okay.
people want to play, they have to join our Skype call now.
Yeah. So if anyone's watching the Skype call, you can leave a message in the comments below, or you can shoot me a quick PM or whatever you want, and we'll add you onto the game.
Adam, the questions show up on their display once they join the actual game.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it's delayed. Like I
Like,
don't know who's
yeah,
actually
yeah.
playing. Who is Nick coming on? Is Nick online?
I don't think so.
I don't know if he is.
Wait, they're like your Nick or my Nick?
Our Nick.
I don't think so.
All right. So let's just play with the 5 of us for now then.
Cool. I'm starting it up.
Isaac, do you want to join us if you're still watching? I don't know if he is.
So why don't we put the stream on mute for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes while we're setting that up then?
Yeah. It's still gonna
Yeah.
it's still gonna view my thing, so I'll set it as a picture for now. Give me a minute here.
Yeah, set it as a picture,
Keep
just like
talking.
mute it as well.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we could also end the podcast here for like the just the talking about the Oilers, which we kind of did 80% of the time. End it here and then do the pre-game stuff as a separate stream.
We could.
So we just do we want to
Like this, because this will always be available later for people to watch, but they may not want to have to deal with the other 3 hours of things. If we just break it up and say, look, this stream's an hour 15 minutes long, this is actually talking about the Oilers, this one is the pre-game, we just shoot the shit and play games in it.
I agree. I
This
agree
is a
with
good
that.
idea. Okay, so let's just cut it here.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us for our podcast today. My name is Arun Thomas, Arunizik. We had Adam, we have Nolan, we have Gail, and we had Fairthorn.
It's Gaël, by the way, but thank you.
Gail.
C'est Gaël actuellement, mais tu peux pas
Gaël.
dire mon nom réellement parce que t'es pas un francophone.
Oui.
No comprende.
Omelette du fromage. We're good.
Close enough.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks
All
for
right,
joining
and-
us.
Montréal pour la vie!
No, shut the fuck up, gal.
Viva Peru!
Okay.
Okay.
So if you
Les habitants sont des gagnants!
Stop talking. I'm just gonna mute you guys. If anybody wants to join us, we'll be going up. We'll start the next stream in about 10 minutes. We're gonna take a 10-minute break. If you do want to play, let us know. Send us a message. Post in a thread. We'll be starting up soon. We'll talk.